penalties. So no doubt they'll be wanting revenge pretty much immediately. But as you were able to see as the table disappears as I cut to it, we're actually set third now. Spurs have gone above us with a game in extra play. So if we can pick up a result here against Arsenal, we will move back up to us. Arsenal. We will move back up to second. But this game was all about Arturo Vidal. Had a great shot there and was really unfortunate that it swerved away at the last minute before finding the bottom corner. And we were actually having to rely on Petr Cech there. So we made a mistake in defence, playing the ball straight to Giroud, and he shot straight at Cech. Comfortable save and an easy clearance. But Vidal again doing the work, coming forward from that holding role. He's been very, very good for us this year since we brought him in January. Pushing forward, does so more than Ramirez almost, or does so with more effectiveness than Ramirez. And he's actually going to get himself onto the score sheet finally here. Lovely couple of through balls. David Luiz to Juan Mata, slots it through to Arturo Vidal, gets his goal 5 minutes before half time, and we take the 1-0 lead that we've been trying to get and failing to get up until that point. But very, very pleased to take the lead just before half time. It's a fantastic time to go in front. It kind of knocks the confidence of the opposition as they go in for the break, and then they're not really too sure whether to stay playing the way they are because they held you out for so long and try and nick a goal back, or whether to change their ethos completely and really go at you for the second half. But they decided to actually firm up defensively and try and catch me on the counter-attack, which is a really weird tactic after going 1-0 down away from home. But it was Danilo with the next effort for us. They're whistling that one just over the top of the bar. It was actually closer than it initially looked, to be fairness to Danilo, and he's actually knocked Cesar Azpilicueta out of the first team recently. His performance has been particularly impressive, and he has been keeping Cesar out of the first team. So Danilo playing very, very well for us so far this season. Extremely pleased with both he and Arturo Vidal in this game and their progress overall as players in the club, and almost getting a second there. Again, Vidal just whiskers away. So many chances in this game went just wide of the far post, and unfortunately for Arsenal, fortunately for us, we were able to run out 1-0 winners in the end. So we're actually going to cut back to the Premier League yet again, just 3 days later. Another very, very tough test away at Liverpool. It really doesn't get any easier, does it? As we head into the last few games of the season, we're playing a rotation side, as you may expect, having just played a game against a massive, kind of physical effort game against Arsenal. And this one was, again, really, really energetic, end-to-end stuff. But as you can see on your screen, even though we've got 2 games in hand, Manchester City are just too far in front of us in the Premier League right now. So they have actually genuinely won the Premier League title now. So unfortunately, we won't be able to bring that piece of silverware back to Stamford Bridge this particular opening season. But we have already won the Capital One Cup. We're through to the final of the FA Cup, and the next game in this episode, is the Champions League semi-final against Juve, but we came very, very close again through Oscar there. So many chances in these opening couple of games that just went wide of the woodwork, and there could have been so many goals in the Arsenal game, and equally there could have been so many goals in this game against Liverpool. We come to half time now, and we're actually going to make a mistake. I tried to play long towards Diego Costa. They're actually going to get the ball back and counter on me. Steven Gerrard's going to slot through Victor Moses, who really shouldn't be playing against us. It's kind of a weird thing with FIFA, or any FIFA actually, career mode. Obviously, Victor Moses is out on loan at Liverpool from us, and in real life, he has a clause in his contract saying that he can't play against his parent club. Similarly, with Romelu Lukaku, was the same at West Brom last year and at Everton this year. But clearly, for FIFA terms, they're allowed to play against us, and we came so close again to scoring a goal to go 1-0 up. Samuel Eto'o this time cutting inside, finding himself hitting the inside of the woodwork, and De Sciglio now, it's the other wing-back proving his worth, cutting forward, and again just whiskers wide of that post. We just can't get the breakthrough in this particular game, and it's actually Liverpool that are going to have themselves a couple of chances now. Victor Moses goes on a wonderful twisty turny run, and I keep getting kind of concerned that I'm leaving players in too much space, so I try and close down the space but leave the man on the ball open, and I do the same again here with Iago Aspas. Easily takes it around the defender, and we're fortunate that he's wasteful with the effort again. As you may have expected, just a sliver past the woodwork, and it stays at 0-0. But we're pushing towards the end of the game now, and Diego Costa is going to play the ball out wide to Willian. He's going to play the 1-2, eventually lift the ball up, stand it up. Diego Costa gets a good head in, but fortunately for Liverpool, Simon Mignolet is able to make the save, and it was sneaking in under that post, so it was a save he had to make. But Frank Lampard's going to whip the corner in. Obviously still has one of the best deliveries in in the world of football. And Diego Costa gets on it again, and one-handed save from Mignolet again, and we're back out for another corner from Frank Lampard. The pressure is building. Can we get a goal towards the end of the game? Frank's going to whip it in again. The ball is going to get one in the middle by Gary Cahill, I think it is in the end. And there's a bit of a mix-up between the goalkeeper and the defender, and it's so close to squirming over that goal line. Of course, in real life, the referee has a wristwatch now that vibrates if the ball crosses the line with the new goal line technology, etc., that they have in the Premier League right now. And unfortunately, that isn't in FIFA right now, but perhaps for FIFA 15 it might be. We'll have to wait and see if they bring it in for next gen, etc. Something I actually haven't really put too much thought into for the next game, but that's still 9 months away. So let's cut back to the Champions League. So it's semi-final time, second leg time. We won the first leg away from home in Turin 1-0, so that puts us in a commanding position, but still is a little bit precarious as we head into this semi-final. Bayern Munich are through. That is the final two-leg score against Barcelona. So whoever wins this one, the reward for the winner is actually a tie against the German champions, and it's us that's going to get an early lead, in fact, in this one. Not only a chance this time, we do get ourselves onto the score sheet. Fernando Torres with the header after the Eden Hazard cross, but that actually, in terms of the tie, doesn't change anything, because of course we did score that one away goal in Italy, so Juve needed two coming into the game regardless, so that doesn't actually change the outlook of the overall tie. So I still had to be very, very wary of my defensive ability and defensive concentration, etc., to keep them out. And Carlos Tevez claimed close there, really decent shot, but unfortunately for them, he did pull it wide of that far post. And Andre Schürrle scored a worldie against French side Marseille in the quarter-finals, and he came so close to replicating that there with a whip from the edge of the box. And a couple of guys in the comments have actually been asking for a goal of the season competition, and I would like to put that together actually, if I am able to find the time to put something like that together and to go back through the series so far and find some of the best goals that we've scored. In fact, if there's a goal that you can remember that you really enjoyed from this particular series, then leave a comment in the comment section down below and let me know, so I can kind of go back and pinpoint that particular goal and maybe put it in a top 5 goals of the season, etc. But Andre Schürrle's against Marseille is definitely going to be up there if we make that particular video. But we're utilising the wide areas yet again in this one. Chiellini committed with the header, put his defensive partner off, and Torres was able to just nip in behind him as Chiellini misjudged the lunge. Perhaps he just went overly aggressive at it and just misjudged the flight of the ball, went over the top of his head, and Torres was able to head the ball into the back of the net. 2-headed goals, 2 goals, 3-0 up overall in the tie now, and Lichtsteiner made another decent effort there for Juventus, but again, similarly to the Tevez effort, he just kind of pulled it past the far post, and they actually replaced him at half-time, bringing on Simone Pepe to add that extra little bit of injection of pace out wide. But it was our own injection of pace of Andre Schürrle creating the chance there. A pinpoint crossing towards Juan Mata in the box on the penalty spot. But unfortunately, Mata doesn't have the best aerial ability, and he wasn't able to put the ball into the back of the net. But they're going to put the ball into the back of the net here. We have a defensive mix-up. The physics engine just kind of fucks me over, really. The players just bump into each other, and Vucinic is the player on hand to slide the ball underneath the goalkeeper into the back of the net to bring it back to 2-1 on the night and 3-1 on aggregate. So Juve definitely proving that they can score goals against us, but it was kind of a mix-up on my part, so I wasn't too concerned heading into the last parts of the game. And we're going to get another great chance here. Mata squares the ball to Hazard, man over, but another good save from Gianluigi Buffon. I kind of wanted Hazard to take that on his right foot, and it maybe would have been a more accurate strike had he done so, but it wasn't to Mata. We are going to progress through to the Champions League final, and we will face Bayern Munich. Now, of course, that it will be a replay of the final from 2012, where Chelsea came out on top on penalties, and of course a replay again of this particular season's Super Cup, where they won the Champions League last year, we won the Europa League, and they actually beat us that time out, gaining revenge. But obviously you'd rather win the Champions League than the European Super Cup, wouldn't you? But anyway, let's cut back to the action. We've got the FA Cup final coming up in a couple of days, actually. I think the